In a land where ancient traditions and powerful spirits guide the people, the sacred horn of Ngai, an ancestral gift to the Kikuyu in the Mount Kenya region of Kenya, vanishes on the eve of a vital ceremony. 3 siblings, bound by courage and family, must embark on a perilous quest to reclaim it. Facing supernatural forces, betrayal, and heartbreaking loss, they uncover hidden truths about their village and themselves. This is the thrilling journey of honor, sacrifice, and the unbreakable bond between the living and the ancestors. Welcome to the Sacred Horn Quest. Long ago, in the heart of the Kikuyu highlands, the people of Gikuyu and Mambi lived in harmony with nature. Their most sacred possession, the horn of Ngai, said to hold the blessings of their creator. A bustling Kikuyu village is preparing for a grand ceremony. Children run, women carry baskets of fruit, warriors sharpen their spears. The sacred horn sits prominently at the village center, but on the eve of their most important ceremony, disaster struck.
Elders, the sacred horn, it's missing. It's not inside.
Kids chaos in the village. Villagers whispering, children looking confused, and elders looking worried. Suspicion falls on the most unlikely person, Adu, the village drunk, who is often found hanging around the elders and causing minor chaos. The scene is a mix of humor and confusion as the villagers try to piece together what happened. The village elders gather in a circle, whispering and gesturing suspiciously. In the distance, Adu, the village drunk, stumbles toward the group, holding a large gourd of traditional brew in one hand and swaying as he walks.
It's obvious, isn't it? Who else would be foolish enough to steal the sacred horn other than Adu? Adu with the horn for drinking his brew? It makes too much sense.
Adu arrives, smiling goofily at the crowd. He hiccups loudly, swaying side to side.
My people, what's all this commotion about, eh? A party without Adu? It's impossible. Never ever.
The elders close in around Adu, forming a circle. He looks at them, confused but amused. They cross their arms, looking suspiciously at him.
Adu, we know what you've done.
Done? What have I done now? Was it the time I borrowed the goat? Or that time I took a nap in the chief's hut by mistake?
No, Adu. We are talking about the sacred horn of Nai.
The what now? The horn? Aye. What horn, my brother?
Adu looks utterly perplexed, scratching his head and wobbling on his feet, confused and in deep thought.
You stole the horn to drink your brew with, didn't you, Adu?
Me? Steal the sacred horn of night for brew? Aye. That's the best joke I've had in ages. Go on, make another one, my brother.
This is serious, Adu. Without the horn, the ceremony cannot happen. Where is the horn, Adu?
Aye. Look. I'll have you know, I'm too respectable to use the sacred horn for brew. Do you see this good old God? This old friend right here has been with me for years. I wouldn't betray it for any shiny horn, my brother. Never ever.
The elders continue to look at Adu suspiciously. He starts to second-guess himself, rubbing his chin dramatically.
Wait. Did I take the horn? There was that night, and then there was that other night, then. And that one time I thought the chicken was talking to me. Or, my goodness, was it the horn?
Adu, do you remember anything about the horn?
Well, let me think. I might have borrowed something shiny from the ceremonial hat. Or maybe that was the chief's hat. Oh, wait, or was it a spear? No, that can't be right, but the goat. Looked suspiciously like a horn that one time. My brother let me have a drink.
The elders are losing patience as Adu continues to babble nonsensically. Deep in thought but not making any sense. He stumbles, trips over a rock, and lands flat on his back with a goofy grin.
Maybe I did take it. Or maybe I just dreamed it. Either way, I'm innocent. Or am I guilty? Wait, which one would you pick for me? Come on, my brother, help me get up.
This is hopeless. We are getting nowhere. Elders, let's look elsewhere. He's too drunk to remember anything. But if I find out he did steal the horn,
I swear on my God, if I find that horn, I'll bring it right back. Of course, after one drink with it.
The elders walk away shaking their heads. Adu watches them go, scratching his head again.
Wait. Did I take the horn? No, probably not. I think I should have or should have not. Who knows? Maybe the horn does. My brother, go ask the horn. Yes, the horn.
Adu may not have the answers, but he certainly made the mystery more entertaining. Adu, hilariously clueless, personality shining through as he unknowingly becomes a suspect. His exaggerated denial and eventual confusion make it clear that even though he's the least likely suspect, his unpredictable behavior leaves everyone questioning whether he might have had a hand in it. Karanjad, a brave young warrior sharpening his spear by the fire. His two siblings, Nyambura, his clever sister, and Kamau, the energetic youngest brother, join him.
Without the horn, the ceremony cannot happen. Nice blessings will not reach us.
We have to get it back. No one knows the highlands like we do.
Adventure. Let's go before the elders even notice we are gone.
It is said the horn was given by Nai himself to bless the land. If it has been stolen, the thief must be brave or foolish.
The highlands held many dangers, but sometimes the biggest one was Kamau's clumsiness. He trips over a rock, dramatically flailing his arms before landing in a puddle.
I was just testing the ground.
The siblings are deep in the forest, cautiously moving forward on their quest to retrieve the sacred horn. Suddenly, they hear a loud, thunderous sound, like trees cracking and ground shaking. And before they can even process what's happening, they find themselves in the path of an enraged, charging hippo. This scene is tense, fast-paced, and heart-pounding, mixing fear and adrenaline as they narrowly escape danger. The sound grows louder, and the earth seems to shake with each thud. The siblings freeze, their eyes darting in every direction. Then, from behind a thick patch of trees, they see it, a massive hippo, eyes wild and nostrils flaring, charging directly at them, its huge body tearing through the foliage.
Oh my god, run.
The siblings sprint as fast as they can through the forest, dodging low-hanging branches and jumping over roots. The sound of the hippo's heavy stomps grows louder as it gains on them, crashing through the trees with terrifying force.
Why is a hippo in the forest? I thought they prefer being in water during the day.
Do you want to ask it? Keep running.
The hippo's massive jaws snap at the air behind them, just meters away from Kamau's back. The ground shakes violently with each step of the beast, trees cracking and splintering under its sheer weight.
Oh my god, it's too fast.
The siblings spot an opening up ahead, a steep, muddy slope, leading down into a clearing, but they're moving too fast to stop.
Oh my god, the hill. Watch out, I can't stop.
All three siblings hit the slope at full speed, sliding uncontrollably down the slick mud. Their feet lose traction as they tumble down the 50-foot hill, sliding helplessly in a chaotic whirl of mud, rocks, and leaves. Branches snap beneath them as they spin and tumble, covered in mud from head to toe. The hippo stops just at the top, unable to follow.
This is worse than being chased by the hippo.
At the bottom of the slope, the siblings crash into a fast-moving river with a huge splash. The current is incredibly strong, sweeping them away immediately. They try to fight against it, but the water pulls them along like rag dolls.
Hold on to something.
The river's too fast. We have to go.
As they struggle in the river, Nyambura glances ahead and her eyes widen in terror. In the distance, the river rushes toward the edge of a massive waterfall. Mist rises from where the water drops into the abyss, and the sound of the thundering waterfall grows louder with every second.
The waterfall. We are heading straight for it.
We need to cut something out.
They flame in the water, desperately reaching for rocks or branches. The current is too strong, and they are being pulled closer and closer to the edge. The siblings are now just a few feet from the edge of the waterfall. The water pulls them with terrifying force. A dizzying, heart-stopping plunges emanate.
We can't stop. This is it. This is the end. Oh my god, we are going over.
The siblings are pulled over the edge of the massive waterfall. Time seems to slow down as they are suspended in mid-air, falling helplessly toward the crashing water below. Just as they plunge into the cascading waterfall, something strange happens. An invisible, powerful force grabs hold of them mid-air. They are no longer falling straight down, but instead are being pulled sideways, as if caught by a swirling vortex within the waterfall.
What's happening? We're not falling anymore. Someone is pulling us.
The force whips them through the pounding water, dragging them toward the waterfall's hidden side. For a brief moment, they catch glimpses of the rushing water around them, but then they are pulled straight into a dark cave embedded halfway inside the waterfall itself. The siblings are suddenly dropped onto the hard, damp floor of the cave. They cough and sputter, soaking wet, disoriented and gasping for breath. The roar of the waterfall outside reverberates through the cave's walls, but inside, it's eerily still and dark.
Oh no, where are we? Are we inside the waterfall?
How is this possible? There's a cave here. How comes?
The cave is dark, with faint glimmers of light filtering in through the cascading water outside. The walls are covered in strange, ancient markings, glyphs and symbols etched deep into the rock. Water drips from the ceiling and the air is thick with humidity, but the siblings are safe, for now. The siblings huddle together, trying to comprehend the situation. Their breaths come fast, their hearts still pounding from the near-death experience.
We should be dead. We should have fallen to our deaths. Something saved us.
Not something. Some form of spirit. This place isn't natural.
The siblings slowly stand up, their fear giving way to wonder as they begin to explore the strange cave. The glow of light through the waterfall casts shifting patterns on the walls, and the ancient markings seem to pulse with a faint energy.
These symbols are quite old, ancient. It's like they were carved centuries ago. Whoever made this cave, whatever power brought us here, knew about this place long before we were born.
But how? Why? How come we never knew about a cave inside a waterfall? And what kind of magic can pull us in midair?
It's not just magic, Kamau. There is something or someone watching us.
A sudden chill runs through the air, and the siblings feel a faint presence in the cave. The markings on the walls seem to glow brighter for a brief moment, casting eerie shadows across their faces. The sound of water echoes ominously, and a deep sense of mystery fills the cave.
Whatever brought us here isn't done with us yet.
We were meant to find this place. But what are we supposed to do now?
I don't care who or what brought us here. I just want to live.
The siblings huddle together, their backs against the cave wall, staring out at the waterfall's entrance. They are trapped inside the mysterious cave, their next move uncertain, the danger far from over. They escaped death, but now they've entered a place beyond their understanding. What secrets lie within the cave, hidden by the waterfall for centuries? As darkness falls, and though it is damp and dark outside, the cave remains unusually warm. The flickering light of the waterfall casts soft shadows on the walls, making the ancient markings on the stone seem alive.
I can't believe how warm it is in here. It feels like the fire of an invisible hearth. I am now certain someone or something is watching over us definitely.
Let's just hope that warmth doesn't mean something's watching us.
We'll take turns keeping watch. Something brought us here for a reason.
As the night progresses, the siblings eventually drift into an uneasy sleep, the warmth of the cave lulling them despite their fear. The atmosphere is thick with tension. Suddenly a soft glow appears, faint at first but growing stronger. A mysterious floating light, no bigger than a fist, hovers in the air, casting a strange otherworldly glow in the cave. The light moves silently through the air, hovering just above the siblings.
Karanja, come out. Guys, look.
What the heck? What is that? Are we still dreaming?
The light floats silently, pulsing gently as if beckoning the siblings to follow. It moves deeper into the dark cave, away from the waterfalls.
Guys, it's showing us the way. Do we follow it?
We don't have a choice. It might lead us to answers or out of here.
Or to somewhere or something worse.
They follow the glowing light as it floats deeper into the cave. The path narrows, and the air becomes colder. The sound of the waterfall fades, replaced by an unsettling silence. The walls are covered in more strange glyphs, glowing faintly in the light's wake.
I don't like this. It feels like we are walking into a trap.
Stay close. We need to be ready for anything.
The light leads them into a massive chamber. The siblings stop at the entrance. Frozen in shock and horror, the cave reveals a vast room filled with human and animal bones, scattered across the floor in chaotic piles. The air is thick, almost suffocating, with an ancient musty odor.
Guy, what is this place?
Guy, this isn't just a cave. It's a graveyard.
Bones of all sizes, some clearly human, others belonging to large animals, or strewn across the cavern, cracked skulls, broken ribs and jagged femurs. Some of the bones are old and brittle, while others appear more recent, adding to the unsettling horror of the scene. At the center of the room is a small dark pool of water, perfectly still and surrounded by a ring of bones. The water seems unnaturally black, reflecting nothing from the light in the cave. The siblings cautiously approach, the eerie quiet amplifying their every breath.
Why is water in the middle of a graveyard? And why is it black in color? Guy.
We shouldn't be here. This place is cursed. Maybe this is the entrance of hell.
Something's wrong. This isn't just a pool of water. It feels alive.
The light hovers above the pool, casting ripples across its surface. The water begins to glow faintly, as if something beneath the surface is stirring. Suddenly, the pool begins to bubble and swirl. The water churns, but no wind or external force disturbs it. The bones around the siblings seem to shift and rattle, as if animated by some unseen force. The siblings back away from the pool, their faces filled with terror.
Guys, we need to leave now.
This place isn't just a graveyard, it's a death trap.
Stay together. Don't let anything separate us.
The light suddenly dims, and the cave plunges into near darkness. The siblings are left standing in the eerie glow of the pool as the bones around them shift ominously. The siblings huddle together, their breaths quick and shallow. The sound of the swirling water grows louder and the cave begins to tremble. The bones start to clatter, some shifting as if something beneath the surface is moving them.
Guys, whatever is in this cave, it wants us here.
No, let's get the hell out. We have to get out before it's too late.
This place holds the key to the mystery of the sacred horn. But we are not dying here. Let's look for another way out.
The siblings begin to edge toward the exit, their faces full of fear and uncertainty. Behind them, the pool continues to churn, and the bones seem to watch their every move. They thought they'd find safety in the cave, but they've awakened something far more dangerous. Will they escape the horrors of the bones and the pool? Or is this cave their final resting place? The siblings inches toward the exit of the cave, but before they can leave, the pool in the center of the room erupts in light. The glowing water illuminates the entire chamber, casting long, eerie shadows from the piles of bones. The siblings stop in their tracks, shielding their eyes from the intense brightness.
What's happening now?
Guys, it's showing us something.
No, don't look at the light. Let's get the hell out.
The scene within the pool shows a familiar setting. The village. The siblings can see the sacred hut, where the horn of Guy is kept. A familiar figure, Adu, the village drunk, staggering outside the hut with his drinking gourd, already intoxicated.
That's Adu. What is he doing near the sacred hut?
I knew he had something to do with the theft.
Wait. Something's not right.
The vision shifts, showing an elder, one of the respected leaders of the village, approaching Adu with a sly, calculating expression. The elder carries a small pouch and pours a mysterious liquid from it into Adu's drinking gourd, while he isn't looking. Adu, unaware of what's been poured into his gourd, continues to drink deeply. Within moments, his eyes glaze over, and he begins to sway unnaturally, his movements becoming more erratic.
You will go to the sacred hut, Adu. Take the horn. Bring it to me. Do you understand? Go now.
In his drugged state, Adu appears to be under the elder's control. He nods absent-mindedly, his feet stumbling as he heads toward the sacred hut, his expression blank and dazed.
So he was tricked. The elder dragged him to steal the horn.
I never thought it was Adu, but the elder, Guy, one of our own leaders.
This is worse than we thought. The elder betrayed the entire village.
The siblings watch in horror as the vision continues. Adu, still under the influence of the drug, stumbles into the sacred hut.
He really did it. He took the sacred horn.
The vision shifts again, showing the elder hiding in the shadows, watching as Adu clumsily exits the hut with the horn. The elder smirks, disappearing into the darkness as Adu walks away, completely oblivious to what he's done. The next part of the vision shows the elder sneaking away from the sacred hut. Later that night, he makes his way to a secluded spot in the forest, where he buries the sacred horn under a large rock. His actions are deliberate, calculated. You could hear him say, "No one will ever find it here, and I will be free of the prophecy."
Guy. So he hid the horn. He's the one who's responsible for all this mess.
All this time, we thought the horn was lost. And he buried it to protect himself and greed.
This whole thing was a lie. The elder one of our own set this up and we almost died because of his greed.
The final part of the vision shows Adu the next morning, waking up in a daze. His eyes are bloodshot, his movements sluggish. He scratches his head, clearly confused as he stumbles back to the village.
What happened last night? Why can't I remember anything?
As Adu walks through the village, he passes the sacred hut and suddenly hears the village alarm being raised. The horn is missing. Adu's face is filled with genuine shock as he watches the villagers gather, completely unaware of his role in the theft.
Oh my God, he didn't know what happened. He didn't even remember what he'd done.
He was just a pawn in the elder's scheme.
The pool begins to calm, the glowing water returning to its dark, still state. The vision fades, leaving the siblings in stunned silence. The cave, once alive with eerie light, is now dim and cold again.
We know the truth now. The elder betrayed us all.
We have to return to the village and expose him. The truth needs to come out.
But how do we get out of here? We are still trapped.
They uncovered the truth, hidden within the bones of their ancestors. But now they face an even greater challenge, escaping the cave alive and returning to expose the elder's betrayal. After the terrifying vision of the elder's betrayal, the siblings are left in total darkness for several minutes, surrounded by the bones of their ancestors. Just when they think they are trapped, the mysterious floating light returns.
It's back. The light. It's come to help us again.
Let's hope it leads us out of here this time.
Guys, follow it. We have to keep moving.
This can't be the way out. We are trapped. Guy, what now?
We followed the light for this. We are stuck in here forever.
Wait, something's not right. There has to be another way.
Suddenly the air grows thick with a strange energy. A soft rumbling shakes the ground, and the siblings freeze in place. Out of the darkness, a shaky ancient voice echoes through the cave, sending chills down their spines.
You are close, but your journey is not over.
Who's speaking?
To leave this sacred place, you must climb the hill, but he is one. None of them must look down. If either one of them does, you will fall and turn into a rock forever. Now, leave this place at once.
Turn into a rock, he says. But why?
We've come too far to give up now. We'll follow the light. We won't look down.
Remember, no matter what you feel, no matter what you hear, do not look down. Do not look down. Do not look down. Now, leave.
The moment the voice fades, the cave wall before them begins to rumble. Cracks appear in the stone, and the rock wall slowly slides open, revealing a doorway bathed in blinding light. The siblings shield their eyes, squinting at the sight.
It's opening. Oh my gosh, we are getting out.
Is this real?
Don't question it. Let's go.
The siblings step through the doorway. And as soon as they pass through, the door behind them closes with a heavy thud. When they turn back to look, the door has disappeared entirely, leaving only a solid rock face in its place.
Oh my gosh, the door. It's gone.
As the siblings turn forward, all is revealed. The massive Mount Kenya towering behind them. The majestic snow-capped peak looms in the distance, and the siblings stare in awe as they realize where they've been.
Look, it's Mount Kenya. Guy, we were inside the mountain.
No one has ever gone inside and returned. But we did. It's unbelievable.
We were meant to. Our ancestors guided us through.
Right before the siblings is a steep hill, about 50 meters high, covered in loose rocks and dirt. The hill looks treacherous, with no clear path up, and the air around it feels heavy, almost ominous.
That's it. The hill from the warning.
And we can't look down or we'll turn to rocks.
We'll climb it together. Keep your eyes on the top no matter what.
The siblings stand at the base of the hill, the wind howling around them, carrying a sense of foreboding. The challenge ahead feels impossible, but they know they have no choice but to climb. The mountain held its secrets, but the journey isn't over. With the weight of a deadly warning on their shoulders, the siblings must climb the hill without looking back. One wrong move could turn them to stone, forever. The mysterious voice and the ominous hill raise the stakes even further, as the siblings face yet another life-threatening challenge. The revelation that they've been inside Mount Kenya adds a mystical element, deepening the sense of the supernatural guiding their journey. The upcoming hill climb adds tension and a sense of impending doom, as the siblings must overcome not only physical obstacles, but also the mental challenge of ignoring fear. The siblings begin their dangerous climb up the steep hill, with Karanja leading the way and constantly encouraging his younger siblings. As the climb progresses, the difficulty increases, but they press on.
Keep your focus on the top. Don't think about how high we are, just keep moving.
I'm right behind you, Karanja. We'll make it.
Guys, I don't know if I can, it's so high.
You can. One step at a time, come on. We're in this together.
The hill is steep, and the rock shift dangerously beneath their hands and feet, making every step a risk. As they climb, Kamau begins to struggle, his hands shaking as he grips the stones. Suddenly, his left foot slips, and he loses his balance for a brief moment. His left shoe comes loose, tumbling off his foot and falling down the hill.
Guys, my shoe. I lost my shoe.
Come on, forget the shoe. Don't look down.
In a moment of instinct, Kamau glances downward to watch his favorite shoe plummet toward the ground. His face fills with regret as he realizes what he's done. Kamau's wide-eyed expression as a dark force begins to pull him backward, tugging him away from the hill. He gasps, struggling to hold on, but the force is too strong. But it's too late. The unseen force yanks Kamau off the hill, pulling him violently through the air. His body plummets toward the ground below, his screams echoing in the distance. As Kamau's body hits the ground, it immediately turns to stone, his form petrified in mid-fall, frozen in place forever.
Guy. Oh no, what have you done, Kamau? Karanja, our brother is gone.
Oh my God. Why did he look down? Come on, sister, let's keep climbing. There is nothing we can do. Please don't look down.
Karanja and Nyambura are left in stunned silence, their hearts heavy with the loss of their brother, but with no other choice, they continue their climb, tears in their eyes, and grief weighing them down. Karanja moves first, his jaw clenched with determination, and Nyambura follows, sobbing as they inch closer to the top.
Guy, he's gone. Kamau's really gone. Oh my God.
We have to keep going. Kamau wouldn't want us to stop now. We have to finish this. The elder will pay for this, I swear.
They reach the top of the hill, collapsing in exhaustion and grief. After a moment of silence, the siblings slowly stand and begin to walk away from the hill. Nyambura is still crying, her face streaked with tears, and Karanja walks stiffly beside her, his fists clenched as he tries to keep his composure.
We should have stopped him. We should have saved him.
There was nothing we could do. Kamau knew the risk. We all did. We had been warned.
In the distance, Kamau's petrified form can be seen at the base of the hill, a tragic reminder of the price they've paid. Nyambura and Karanja continue walking, their sobs the only sound in the stillness. Their journey has taken a heartbreaking turn, and their loss is too fresh to bear.
Guy, I can't believe he's gone. I just can't, oh my God. Kamau is no more.
Neither can I. That evil elder will pay for sure. He must pay for his evilness.
The two siblings, broken but moving forward, walking into the unknown as the sky darkens above them. Their tears continue to fall, but so does their determination to complete the mission and honor Kamau's memory. They lost their brother, and with him, a piece of their hearts. But their journey wasn't over. They would climb, cry, and carry on, because in the end, there was no other choice.
Where's Kamau? Why does Karanja look so angry? Something's happened. Look at their faces.
Please, Karanja, don't take matters into your hands. Let the chief and elders deal with him. Promise me, brother.
That I cannot promise. He must face my wrath.
Suddenly, Karanja lets go of Nyambura's hand and takes off in a full sprint through the village, his face a mask of rage. Villagers step aside, bewildered as Karanja barrels toward the Mugumo tree where the village elders are gathered. Karanja reaches the Mugumo tree. The elders, including the suspect elder from the Vizhand, sit in council beneath its broad branches. Without hesitation, Karanja storms up to the group, his eyes locked on the elder.
Come here, you. It was you.
Karanja lunges at the elder, grabbing him by the throat and pinning him against the tree. The other elders and villagers gasp in shock as Karanja begins to choke him.
What are you doing? Have you gone mad?
You killed my brother. You poisoned Adu and made him steal the horn. You brought this curse on us.
The village warriors, alerted by the commotion, rush forward and pull Karanja away from the elder, restraining him as he struggles to break free. Karanja's eyes are wild with rage, and he fights against their grip.
Karanja, stop. You're out of control. What are you doing? Explain yourself.
The village chief, standing among the elders, steps forward, his face stern but calm. He raises his hand, signaling for silence.
Karanja, enough. You will explain this madness right now.
He's the reason Kamau is dead. He betrayed us all.
As Karanja continues to struggle, unable to control his rage, Nyambura steps forward, her face pale and tear-streaked.
Chief, please let me explain. Karanja, he can't, he's too angry to speak right now.
Speak, child. Tell us what has happened. What is the meaning of his behavior?
We saw it inside the mountain. A vision. This elder poisoned Adu and made him steal the sacred horn. He's the one responsible for everything, for Kamau's death and for the horn's disappearance. With the ancestors' help, we even saw where it was hidden.
The villagers and elders gasp in shock as Nyambura speaks, murmurs spreading through the crowd. The suspect elder, still recovering from being choked, begins to stammer in protest.
That's ridiculous. I would never. How could you accuse me of such a thing?
But why would they lie? Something terrible has happened. Kamau's not with them. Could it be true, and why pick on this elder?
The chief raises his hand again, silencing the crowd. His eyes narrow as he stares at the elder, suspicion growing.
This is a serious accusation, Nyambura. If what you say is true, this elder has committed a grave betrayal. But we must hear the full story.
We lost Kamau because of him, and now, without the horn, the village is in danger. We saw him hide the horn after Adu stole it under his influence.
As Nyambura speaks, Karanja finally stops struggling against the warriors, his anger slowly giving way to sorrow. Tears well up in his eyes as he thinks of Kamau, his heart breaking all over again. He sinks to his knees, silent, unable to hold back his grief any longer.
Guy. Kamau, my brother. He's gone. Imagine turned into a rock.
Karanja. We'll make sure his death wasn't in vain. Karanja, we will.
For truth was out, hidden in the shadows, buried beneath lies, but now exposed for all to see. Karanja and Nyambura had lost their brother, but they were determined to make sure his sacrifice was not in vain. The elder's treachery would not go unpunished. The chief, with the entire village following behind, orders the elder and the siblings to lead them to the hidden location of the sacred horn. Guided by the spirits of their ancestors, Karanja and Nyambura walk solemnly through the forest.
They are here, Nyambura. Our ancestor spirits. I can feel them. Can you?
They are guiding us. I feel we are close.
Karanja and Nyambura walk slowly through the forest, their faces pale but determined. Behind them, the chief, the elders, and a crowd of villagers follow in silence, their expressions tense and expectant. The air feels heavy, thick with the presence of something otherworldly as they approach the hidden location. The ground beneath their feet begins to tremble ever so slightly, a sign that they are nearing the sacred horn. The chief encourages them to keep going.
Lead us, children. The village is depending on you. I can also feel the presence of a spirit around us.
Karanja and Nyambura stop at a seemingly ordinary patch of earth. They exchange a look, then nod in unison. With a deep breath, Karanja kneels down and touches the ground. Immediately, a low rumbling sound fills the air, and the earth begins to crack open in front of them.
It's happening.
The ground splits apart, revealing a hidden stone compartment. From within the depths of the earth, the sacred horn slowly emerges, glowing faintly with an otherworldly light. The villagers gasp in awe and fear, their eyes wide as the horn levitates for a moment, before settling gently on the ground. The chief's face twists in anger as he turns to the suspect elder, who is standing at the back of the group, his face pale and drenched in sweat. The chief's voice cuts through the tense silence like a knife.
Explain yourself, elder. You stole our sacred horn and brought this curse upon us. Now the truth must be told. No more lies.
The elder stumbles forward, his body shaking with fear. His eyes dart between the villagers and the horn, knowing there is no escape. His hands tremble as he clasps them together, his voice barely above a whisper.
I didn't mean for it to go this far. I thought I could control it. I poisoned Adu, yes, but it was only supposed to be for a few moments. I wanted the horn's power. I was going to return it. Please forgive me, and I'm very sorry. You betrayed us. You cursed our village. Will your sorry bring back my brother Kamau?
You've cursed us all with your greed. You have caused the death of Kamau and the suffering of our people. How do you expect to be pardoned?
The elder, now sweating profusely and trembling, his face is ashen as the weight of his actions settles over him. The chief, still fuming with anger, motions to the elder to pick up the sacred horn. The elder hesitates, his eyes flicking nervously toward the glowing object. The villagers stand back, watching intently, their faces a mixture of anger and fear.
Pick it up. Return it to the Sacred Heart as you should have done from the start.
With shaking hands, the elder steps forward, his face filled with dread. Slowly, he reaches down and grabs the sacred horn. The moment his fingers touch its surface, a violent shudder runs through his body. His eyes roll back in his head. He begins to convulse violently, clutching his chest as pain rips through him. His breaths become short, shallow gasps as his body goes rigid.
Guy, something's wrong. He's dying.
Suddenly, the elder clutches his chest, his face contorted in agony. His body jerks violently as he lets out a blood-curdling scream, collapsing to the ground with the horn still clutched in his hands. The elder's body seizes for a few moments, then goes limp. His eyes stare blankly into the sky, his hand frozen around the horn. The villagers step back in horror, some covering their mouths as they watch the life leave his body.
He's dead. Good riddance for bad rubbish.
It's the curse. It took him finally.
The spirits have delivered their judgment. All is well now, the curse is gone.
The entire village stands in stunned silence around the elder's lifeless body. The sacred horn lies on the ground next to him, untouched and glowing faintly in the dim light. The villagers, their faces filled with fear and awe, murmur amongst themselves, unable to comprehend the horrifying scene they've just witnessed. Guy, he has been killed by the sacred horn. The chief, still standing near the body, looks down at the elder with a mixture of anger and sorrow. He turns to Karanja and Nyambura, his voice grave.
This is what greed brings. The spirits have spoken. They have taken their revenge. Now we must return the horn to its rightful place, then finally put this tragedy to rest.
The villagers, still in shock, begin to move away from the scene, their faces etched with fear and sadness. The sacred horn sits on the ground, still glowing softly, a symbol of both power and destruction. The horn had been found, but at a terrible cost. The elder paid the price for his betrayal with his life, a warning to all who sought to misuse the sacred. Now, the village had one last task: to return the horn to its rightful place and let peace finally reign once more. After the elder's dramatic death, the chief picks up the sacred horn with a reverence that quiets the entire crowd. Together they return to the village, where the long-awaited ceremony takes place. The horn is restored to the sacred hut, and peace begins to settle over the village once more. As part of the ceremony, Kamau's bravery is honored, and though he is gone, his spirit remains in the hearts of the villagers. Adu, the village drunk, is pardoned for his role in the theft. having been under the influence of the elders' evil plan. The story concludes with a reflection on sacrifice, unity, and the power of ancestral guidance. As the procession reaches the sacred hut, the chief steps forward, holding the horn high for all to see. The village elders stand in a semicircle around the sacred hut's entrance, their heads bowed in respect.
May peace return to this village. We also thank the ancestors for their guidance and protection. The sacred horn, a gift from Guy, is returned to its rightful place. Let this day be a reminder to all. The spirits watch over us, and their judgment is swift. Let us honor those who have given everything for the protection of our people.
The chief steps back out of the hut, his face now softening with sadness and respect. He gestures for Karanja and Nyambura to step forward, and they do so, standing before the gathered villagers.
Today, we remember Kamau, who gave his life in the service of this village. His bravery will never be forgotten. His name will be spoken among our ancestors as one who walked with courage, and his spirit will guide us always.
A ceremonial chant begins among the villagers, a song for the fallen, as Karanja and Nyambura bow their heads. The sound of the chant fills the air, carried by the wind toward the mountains. After the chant, the chief turns toward Adu, the village drunk, who stands sheepishly at the edge of the crowd. Though still nervous, he appears sober, his eyes full of regret. The villagers watch him with a mix of sympathy and suspicion.
Adu, though you were used by the elders' treachery, your actions, though unwitting, brought harm to this village. But in the eyes of the spirits, you have been forgiven. Today you are pardoned, and may this serve as a new beginning for you.
I'd thank you, my chief. I swear. I'll never touch a drop again. I swear it.
Let's hope he sticks to it this time. We have heard that before. Not once, but only the spirits can help him,
The crowd laughs lightly, but there is a sense of forgiveness in the air. Adu bows deeply, tears streaming down his face, as the chief nods to him in approval. The village, now bathed in the soft light of dusk, as peace finally begins to settle once more. The sacred horn is safely in the hut, and the villagers, though still mourning the loss of Kamau, find solace in the restoration of order. In the face of betrayal, loss, and uncertainty, the village stood strong. Guided by the wisdom of the ancestors and the courage of their people, they reclaimed what was sacred. The memory of Kamau's sacrifice would live on, and the lessons learned would echo through generations. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey of courage, sacrifice, and the power of community. If you enjoyed this story and want to see more epic adventures, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for more stories from the heart of Africa's rich traditions and legends.